What up, Joe? It's your boy Willie Styles in the building. Go ahead and say hello, Chevy.
Hey everybody, how are you doing today?
All right. We are here. It is the first Chevy and Styles recap of Marvel's What If, and the show is already starting off. I mean, I think it started off with a bang.
Yeah,
Episode one.
definitely a lot of bangs actually.
Yes, indeed. They definitely took us head first into the multiverse. We got to see a lot of, or we got to learn a lot about the multiverse through Loki, and
Yes.
I think that was probably definitely the reason why we had to wait for each of these things to happen. Right, we had to have or not Doctor Strange. We had to have WandaVision in order to set up a little bit for Loki, and then we had to have Loki set up for What If, and then we got Doctor Strange. Well, Spider-Man first, and then Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness coming up. So I think they definitely wanted us to be fully aware and competent on what was going on and what was happening. I don't think. Well, hopefully people paid attention. I don't think anybody be confused this time with what's happening and what
I
if.
mean, because it was like a whole new story started. So if you didn't know, it's like watching a whole new story
Yeah.
theoretically.
Yeah, true. Yeah, and that was the one thing, and we'll definitely get into that during the recap. Is that I think it definitely was not a uh, uh, one off where you could just watch it and be like, oh, I get it, and this is a whole singular story. It's definitely not that, but it does create a whole new story, right? It
Correct.
creates a whole new storyline and a whole new timeline, as we know from the regular MCU. So you definitely have to come into this with some knowledge of not only Captain America, the first Avenger, but also I think Avengers 1, and then it was Avengers 1. It was something else too. I think that got touched on in this movie. I just can't call it off at the moment, but yeah. So there's a couple things that you do have, a couple movies you do have to be aware of, and as well as just the overall MCU universe, and then also knowing what we know from Loki, that there's these alternate realities, and what it really means when it comes to diving deep into the multiverse. So,
Hmm.
all right, so as always, we usually get into our spoiler free review. So I'm gonna let you go first on this one. Let us know how you really feel.
It was cute. I mean, I don't know.
I like that. It was cute. Okay,
It
okay.
was cute. I mean, I have a question, and it's really only one question, which I'll ask once we start talking about the review itself.
Mhm.
But I just think that it's interesting, just like in Loki, there are certain things that even a new timeline can't change. And
Mhm.
I thought that that was interesting. But it was a cute story, and it was a nice twist on it. It spoke to a lot of women's suffrage issues.
Yes, indeed. I think they drove that home. I think they drove that home. Yeah.
That weren't actually touched on in the Captain America movie, because it was just like, this is how it is. It's how you
Oh,
watch
Agent
some
Carter.
movies. Yes, Agent
That's the
Carter.
you.
Oh,
I mean, you don't
I
have
didn't
to you
even
don't you didn't
say
have to
that
watch the
one.
entire Agent Carter series, but you got to know about the Agent Carter series and what she went through in the Agent Carter series in order to get
Oh,
what was
see, I never
happening.
watched a episode of Agent Carter.
No, oh, okay. So
Mm-mm.
yeah, so it was basically they kind of rehashed a few things that she went through during, which was the kind of the not odd, but you know what I mean. It was just kind of the odd thing because she wanted to be in the room and she wanted to be taken seriously, right? And they let her in the room, but they never took her serious during the
Right,
Agent Carter series. So
right. Yeah. Well, yeah, yeah. What did you think of it?
what would you score it? What would you score it?
Oh, a score. A 6.
A six? You give it a
Yeah.
six? You being
Yeah.
generous, aren't you?
I mean, I am being generous because they made us think that the actors who played the characters weren't going to be in the shows, and they actually are. So
yeah,
they
that
did
is
a good
true.
job keeping that under wraps because they actually are.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I give it a 6.
Okay. I feel you there. It was a pleasant surprise to hear the I would say the real voices, but the real voices behind behind our favorite characters and
even our favorite villains.
yeah, exactly. I know. I was shocked. I was shocked that it was what's his name
Mr. Smith.
Yeah. So and I think too that I don't know if it was really what's his name what's the doctor's name
The guy with the glasses.
yeah
I don't know if that was him, but I mean, I wouldn't be surprised.
That was if it wasn't him, that was definitely a good interpretation of his voice.
Yes,
for sure.
It definitely was.
They had him down pat. So yeah. So I think that they definitely gave us like the fast forward version of Captain America. They definitely gave us a quick glimpse into how things can quickly change, like they said, with the a simple decision being made, right? If no one remembers, there was a decision made at the beginning of the well, not the beginning, but at that stage in the super soldier program kickoff when they were about to give Steve Rogers the serum, and they told Peggy go sit in the booth, and I think that was the one thing that kept standing out was like this thing about her being in a room. She didn't decide to be in a room in the original movie. And this time she did. So
I mean, I guess it was just like that whole this is how it goes. Like if you watch a movie during slave times, it's not always a focus of racism. It's kind of like this is how it is. This is how it was back then. So we're not going to touch on it because we don't need to touch on it because you should already know that this is how it was, whether it was right or wrong, because there's nothing that we can do about it now. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Exactly. We do we can't change history, right? It's just
right.
It is what it is.
Women were not in the room, even if they were ones doing all the work.
Exactly. Yeah. Indeed. So yeah. So I definitely saw that recurring theme throughout the episode. But that was the thing, the one decision changed everything. It was the best way I can describe for me. It was anticlimactic at times because there was parts where I was like, "Oh, this is kind of dope," or "Wow, this is kind of unique or different," because we're seeing Captain Carter versus Captain America doing their thing, and they touched on a couple of good plot points or good turning points in the movie, and inserting her and the rest of the cast in different ways. I like that she still had the backing of Iron Man's dad. I can never remember his name either. I'm terrible today with the name.
The other Stark.
Yeah,
Daddy Stark.
Henry, Hank, no,
Hank, maybe.
No, Hank Pym. That's Hank Pym.
Oh, dang.
Yeah, I'm
Richard.
I'll have to look it up.
That is not his name. His name is definitely not Richard. And she said his name so much, and I cannot remember.
Yeah, exactly. Howard.
Howard.
Howard. Yeah, so we're close with Hank. We're close, but yeah, that's Hank Pym. But yeah, Howard Stark. Yeah, so it was good to see they kept that relationship. They did, and they also touched on the flirtations between Captain Carter and
flirtation.
Huh?
That was love.
I know, right? Yeah, yeah, they were. It was nothing. It was nothing being held back.
Flirtations about it. It's love,
which is different too from the movie, right? Because they only lightly flirted in the movie versus where this was like, let's get.
It was like, but I guess I don't know if they did that because they wanted us to see that and they wanted to make us believe that something was gonna happen or whatever, or maybe they just. I kind of always wish that they would have allowed for them. that's something about Marvel movies that bother me. It's like it's never that point of allowing us to really experience, other than like Pepper and Tony, like the
Which that even
love.
took time. Remember that
Yes,
took
it took
movies.
forever.
Yeah, that took
Like
2
people
or
be
3
loving
movies.
each other and they just, it's about the mission, it's about the goal,
Yeah,
but like to have two people on the same team or in the same position that actually really love and care about each other, and us never ever getting them to experience that, and then we lose a character for a period of time, or they go, like Black Widow is dead, you know what I'm saying, and they never
right.
get to have that moment, not
Yeah,
even a
we're definitely
kiss.
not going to ever see that Black Widow Hulk love story that we've been
Weird
wanting.
situation, like
Yeah, but
3D
I think it would have worked.
thing.
Especially now that he's Professor Hulk. I think they would have worked.
Right.
Yeah, but I think that's the thing is that it's when it came to the movies as well as the fact that they were trying to make these big blockbuster hits, I think they were just trying to shy away from these relationship situations that didn't really serve the mission, right? The goal of the mission is to get through these different villains and these scenarios, and then where the difference is with a TV show, we can explore these types of things. We
Yeah.
have plenty of time, right? We got time. We can do that kind of thing.
Right.
It either being love stories or just friendships, right? We watch the
Right.
evolution of the friendship between Captain America and the Winter Soldier grow in
And Steve.
Falcon and the
Yeah.
Winter Soldier, rather.
Mm-hmm.
Watching their friendship grow. Through their tough time of mourning Steve and them, trying to figure out who's going to be the next Captain America. So we weren't going to get that. We kind of got a little bit of their tension during a couple of movies. It went over a couple of movies, 2 or 3 movies. But when it came to really looking at building a friendship, we had to see that over a series of 6 or 8 different episodes, right?
But yeah, you are right about that, because even like with the Marvel movies, we looked at them as family because they were constantly risking their lives for each other, but not because they actually looked and resembled a family. And it didn't really resonate to me until Endgame that they actually really loved and cared for each other, and that
Right.
they, you know what I'm saying, everything
Exactly.
they did was to save everybody. So yeah, I'm gonna save my teammate, yeah, I'm gonna save my partner. You know what I'm saying? Not
Exactly.
saying that they didn't like each other, but it was
We didn't see
always
those. We didn't
infight.
really see those relationships grow, right?
Yeah,
We didn't see how they grew.
because it
When
was
it came.
always so much infighting. You got Loki over here trying to do this. You got Tony trying to be the smartest, and he's a butthole. You got this person over here not liking that person. You know what I'm saying? It was always so much infighting, to the point where you was like, oh, well, they must not really like each other, but they get the job done.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. When you got that many heroes and egos, it's a lot. It's a lot. So, but yeah. So I think we got to see some development already, some things that we didn't get to see. But yeah, overall, I gave it like a 4.5, 5, only because it was just so much so fast. Really, not a lot of. I mean, Marvel's known for character development, story development, and there was not a lot to develop, of course, because we already know the story. But because we're looking at characters from a different point of view, I expected a little bit more character development. But I can't remember how many episodes it's supposed to be this season. But what I'm guessing from either the previews that I've seen for episode 2 as well as the reviews I've heard already is that there's this first episode is not the norm, right? It doesn't seem like that's going to be the norm. We're going to see some slight variations of story development here and there. There's going to be an overarching story being developed over the course of the season. So I guess it's just about being patient, being forgiving, because of the fact that they're trying to get us used to these old characters in new shoes, right?
Right.
So I think that's the biggest thing. I was shocked by. I mean, I saw it in a preview or saw it in a picture or something that about not Tony, what's his name, Steve, being suited up, but I was still kind of shocked, like, oh wow, I'm realizing who he was really being suited up as, right? He's like kind of the precursor to Iron Man. So,
right.
Or really, really was funny to me. He looked more like the Iron Giant to me. So,
He did though. He did.
so yeah. So I did give it a 4.5, 5. Hey Sonny, how you doing? Hopefully you're enjoying the show so far. We're actually about to get into the spoiler recap. So yeah, if you haven't watched episode 1 of What If, definitely go check that out on Disney Plus. It is only available on Disney Plus, just like all Marvel movies and TV shows now. Well, I guess there's a couple lingering out there on Netflix and stuff like that, but all the new TV shows, all the new movies, as well as all the legacy movies, all the current movies are all on Disney Plus. So go check that out. Episode 2 just dropped today. We'll be talking about that next week. But for now, let's get into the spoiler recap of episode 1 of What If. It's the story of Captain Carter, and we start off with the Watcher giving us kind of a quick preview, or not preview, a quick overview of what we're going to see in this season of What If, in terms of these decisions that are being made, these choices that are being made, and how they branch these timelines off. We saw in Loki, at the end of Loki, the what they call it, sacred timeline being branched off, and now this makes more sense. We see one large branch, which is Captain Carter being created, creates these other smaller tertiary branches from the fact that she could totally changes the timeline. The decision she made to not go into the booth, as well as the sabotage of the experiment where they were about to give Steve Rogers the super soldier serum, and then him getting injured during that melee, gave her the opportunity to jump into the machine, take the serum, and become the first super soldier as well as the first Avenger. So, well, she didn't become the first Avenger then. Later on in the show, we got to see that. But basically, we have that decision creating this alternate timeline. But like I was saying earlier, her need to be in the room and her decision to be in the room did not fare well anywhere else, because we got to see the commanding officer basically still dismiss her, still feel like she was not worthy of that position, thinking that the experiment had failed because of the fact that a woman had taken
a woman took the serum.
Yeah. So as a woman, what do you think about those themes that they were showing and portraying throughout that? Like you said, we didn't get a chance to see a lot of that in the earlier movies because it was kind of it is what it is. But now we're seeing them really tackle it in this. Not tackle it and take it down, but we saw them really touching on it more. Like I said, they did touch on it during the Agent Carter series. But if you haven't seen that, then this was another introduction into that. What did you think?
Well, I thought it was interesting because I kept saying in my head, how in a World War II or World War I time are they letting a woman be basically Captain America? So watching it and actually seeing that, no, they didn't. Well, he didn't. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Because it was a different world. You know what I'm saying? It was a different world because it's a different timeline. So the issues may be different. Who knows? That may be a world where certain things didn't exist and certain things did. You know what I'm saying? So, indeed. I mean, he had such an issue with her. I just didn't like the things he was saying. Like, you know what I'm saying? How could you say it's a failure? It's a failure because she took the serum and, just be so against everything. You forget at a time this was a thing. You know what I'm saying? Because we live in a different world now. And it kind of reminded me of how short-sighted men can be, no offense, in those times. You know what I'm saying? Like how they believed women couldn't be serial killers because they were women. How they believe, a woman could have killed 20 men with the knife in her hand. And they would still say, no, women aren't capable of doing anything like that. And then she would continue to go and kill. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. Yeah, it's crazy. It's definitely crazy to think of what they would allow a woman to get away with because of the fact that they assume in her frailty, right? You know, back then that's what they called it, the frailty of womanhood, and saying that, you know, it would be unthinkable or unrealistic to think that a woman could do such things as be on the front line, be like you say, a murderer, be, you know, anything other than, you know, what they thought was a woman that should be at home in, you know, in the kitchen taking care of babies, you know. So like Sonny said, that was deep, but during that time, that was the mentality, right?
That was the mentality.
Yeah, I mean, and it's some people who thought that way all the way up through the 80s, 90s, and
still do now.
2000s, right? Right, exactly. So, you know, there's a lot of people who dismiss the power of womanhood.
It's just crazy because she was already in the room. Like she already, you would think that she would, being that she was on a secret special mission team already, you would think that everybody would already say, oh, this is Peggy Carter. Oh, she's, you know, she's great. You know what I'm saying? She's good enough to do the job. You know what I'm saying? Like how they show that not only Steve was the one who ran over to the grenade.
Right.
They, you know, later they show that Peggy did as well. She was just as honorable and just as capable and just as giving and just as fearless and just as virtuous as Steve Rogers.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? She just
Well, you know, and in the movie as well as in the Captain Carter series, or the Agent Carter series rather, she showed her bravery. She showed her willingness to jump in and do what was needed to be done. She was definitely, like you say, the virtues that Steve Rogers had. You know, she was exuding them from the start. But from an assertive woman's point of view, because she had to be assertive, she had to push through the barriers. Like you said, the guy Colonel Flynn, he was very sexist, very dismissive of her power, even when she had powers, right? You know,
yeah, like she could have killed him.
Exactly. But you know, and I think that also speaks to, in terms of that timeline, it also speaks to the fact that people will dismiss you regardless of what you've accomplished.
Yeah.
You know, irregardless of what you're capable of or the potential you have, they will still dismiss you just for the fact of dismissing you.
Yeah, and they don't even know what could happen by dismissing you.
Exactly.
And they don't even care because that's how they view you, and they'll never see you a different way. That's how these movies be starting anyway. Like with the villain. That's how these movies start anyway.
Exactly.
That's the whole reason why Red Skull is a thing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, they dismissed Red Skull, right? The Nazis dismissed Red Skull. He was literally doing stuff under their nose, you know, using their resources, their equipment, their people, and creating Hydra. And you know, they dismissed him. You know, they didn't see the potential that he had, right? You know, so he took over and did what he wanted to do. Sonny says, yeah, he saw her as a woman first. Exactly. Yeah, that's all he saw. And that's literally all he saw. He didn't see her as a super soldier. He dismissed her super soldier capabilities because of the woman first attitude that he had with her. That's for sure.
Yeah.
That's for sure. So we got to see her, you know, get suited up by Howard, you know, giving her the suit. We also got to see the new shield and all that. And I think that in terms of the relationship that they had, it was reminiscent of the Agent Carter series, where they had that bond of friendship, but also as colleagues. You know, he saw her as an equal or even a greater, you know, because he felt that, you know, regardless of her being a woman, that she had the potential to be a great leader, that she had the potential to be a great soldier and spy. And, you know, so Howard definitely seen her for who she was versus like Colonel Flynn and the others seeing her as just a woman. So I think that was helpful. You know, I don't think that they fully exploited the white man savior scenario. I think they kind of got touched on, but it wasn't as bad as it could have been. So I feel like they did a good job of that, of keeping it away from being like Howard Stark saved her from obscurity, right? You know,
Right.
he helped her a little bit, but he just helped her own mission, right? It was her mission to get out of the I'm just a woman in the room that's going to still be dismissed to being I'm going to be taken seriously as a soldier, as a
Yeah,
weapon,
he was
as
very
the hero.
encouraging to her
Exactly. He
and
was kind
very
of
in her corner.
exactly in her corner. The support. He was kind of a support system, but not the savior. So I did like that as well. I can't remember if we touched on that during the Black Widow review that we did, a little mini review we did, but that was one of the things that I enjoyed in Black Widow was that they did not allow men to step
No.
in and save them, or to save anything that was happening in that movie, even with the Red Guardian even being there, being a super soldier himself, even he was not there to save them. They basically did everything in that movie. So I thought that was awesome that they really I think they really paid attention. They were definitely not, tone deaf when it came to how they did that part of it. Sonny says he was what she was to Steve Rogers when he became Captain. Yeah, definitely. Just a support system, just there to kind of give him the encouragement, and he gave her the encouragement. But that was the one thing I wanted to touch on. So Steve Rogers and Peggy Carter in the movie, and the one shot that they did, it was more of a flirtation, right? And like we were just saying, they were a little bit more than just flirtatious. They were more direct, right? And what I think kind of explain it, I think, is that the fact that when Steve Rogers became Captain America, day one, they shipped him out.
Right.
And he had the USO tour, and then he eventually started fighting in the war. All that stuff was going on. He really didn't build the relationship with her. They had that initial meeting. They did the back and forth when he was kind of coming through the whole.
Right. But she had fell in love with him when he jumped on that grenade.
Exactly. And so I think that being that he had to walk away from that relationship to go do what Captain America did, her not being able to do that allowed them to have more relationship development. We didn't get a chance to see a lot of it, but we got to see a glimpse of it. You know what I mean? During this show, during this episode 1 of What If, we got to see them interacting. It wasn't the best of times because she was upset, frustrated, dealing with the fact that she wasn't able to do what she wanted to do now that she had those powers. But he was there; he wasn't going anywhere, and
right. And he wasn't mad. He didn't feel no type of way. He was very supportive. He was just that guy, just a good guy.
Exactly. So I think that's a reason why we saw more relationship development out of them now.
That's a good point, though.
Because they actually spent more time together. They actually got to develop a real relationship versus just this. Think about it. Him going back to her in 1940, he was going back to a fantasy, something that he had fantasized about having with her, right? Not something he had really developed with her. It was that last dance or that next dance, whatever they called it at the time. I owe you that dance, or whatever they were saying. And the thing is that they never went past that until he went back in time to go catch up with her. Where in this show, they had all that time together because they were basically stuck.
And also the situation went so different. Like, didn't Bucky get messed up and everything, or did Bucky make it in that one?
In this one there was no, he didn't fall. He didn't take the fall. He didn't get kidnapped. Bucky, because
in the original he got caught up.
Exactly.
So he was going through that too. You know what I'm saying? He lost his best friend in the course of all of that too.
Yep, exactly. So there was all that different character development that he went through in the original timeline. He didn't get during this. He was able to, because during the time that he should have been in the USO, he was going through rehab to learn how to walk again, as well as, like I said, building that relationship with her. And like you said, he didn't have to watch his friend, go down in that mission and then not, come back from it, that kind of thing, and feeling like he lost his friend as well. So there was a couple of big changes for his life, as well as the fact that not being a super soldier, he now is whatever, I forgot what they called him, the Hydra Stomper. He's now the Hydra
Yes,
Stomper
Hydra
instead.
Stomper
Yeah, with the suit, with the Iron Man suit.
with the Tesseract in it.
Oh yeah, Sonny mentioned the joke about her being suited up and shipped out on stage. Yeah, because that's what was supposed to happen to him, and that's what happened to him in the original timeline.
Yeah,
she didn't get that because being a woman, they didn't send her to do that. So yeah, so we definitely saw a different development of the characters and how they got into their eventual roles as heroes, right? And then them fighting together, right? Whole different aspect of the relationship.
yeah, but that's the thing. Like, okay, so I'm not saying this is a bad thing or a good thing, but you know how I always say, like, the Marvel women get stuff done.
Mm-hmm.
What annoyed me about that episode was the fact that she always had to be the smartest. She was a beautiful fighter. She was eloquent in her planning. In her mind, she's saying, "Oh, I'm not being stealthy enough. Oh my God, I'm not doing this how I would normally do this. Oh my goodness, I need to chill, but this is fun." And it's just like towing that line of showing her enjoy what she was doing, showing her fighting and being this superhero, but also towing a line of her having to be reserved and be this smart woman still was super annoying to me, because if Steve Rogers had just went in and blew some stuff up and did this and did that, who cares? He won, right? But because it was a woman, she still had to be, even as her character, we had to expound on the fact that I have to acknowledge that I'm not being my stealthy self, and that I'm not being organized, and I don't have a plan, and blah, 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 blah. And I have to be smarter than even Howard Stark at times. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's just like, if she was a man, we would just be watching her have fun whooping ass.
Yeah.
And that was the part about the episode that kind of annoyed me. It's like, I'm enjoying this, but I wish I could enjoy it more, because I keep comparing it to like the men of Marvel as well myself. Because look, she saved Bucky. You know what I'm saying? She did
exactly
all of these things with no problem.
She did what even Steve Rogers couldn't do with those powers. Yeah, that's true.
Right. And it's just like, damn, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? But also, like, look at how she had to be in order to get that done. She had to be honorable, decent, and smart. It couldn't be one of those, because as a woman, we can't just
all
be
of those things out of our male heroes in the MCU. That's true.
No.
That's true. Yeah.
But a woman can't just be one and get by with the one, and then we make a team of 5 because we can't find one guy that can do all of those things together. We need a smart guy. We need a weapons guy. We need the guy with the superpowers. Then we need the guy who has the super honor. And we, you know what I'm saying? Like, oh man, but one woman could do that.
Yeah, because I mean, if you think about it, Steve Rogers is definitely not the smartest. Definitely not the most technically advanced. Even though he's a leader, he never really has a plan. You know, and then he's got the honor, he's got the power, but that's it, right? He doesn't have all the other attributes. Yeah, right, 100% right. Yeah, good point. The other thing, well, we kind of talked about that with the Hydra Stomper, is the fact that Howard Stark got his hands on the Tesseract earlier than before, was able to create an Iron Man style suit of armor. It resembled, well, to me, when I looked at it, it resembled
definitely Iron Giant without the skinny legs, without the skinny legs.
Yeah, with the skinny legs, yeah. But they also talked about, in some of the reviews I read, was that it resembled the Ironmonger armor that was used by Obadiah Stane in the Iron Man movie. So, we got to see kind of basically the evolution of the Iron Man suit before Tony Stark got the chance to do it, which is interesting to think is what's going to happen to Tony in the future, knowing that he's already got access to Iron Man suits, right?
Right.
It's going to be interesting to see how that works out. We kind of saw that in the I don't know if you watched this series either, but the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., we kind of saw how time travel movement of technology and uh, you know, things being pushed to the past that didn't get developed until the future, how that changes the timeline and that kind of thing. So you know, that was kind of a theme that we got to see early on in that series. But we got to see it again here with the fact that, you know, some of the stuff that was happening earlier than original, or earlier than our original sacred timeline. I think that's what I'm always call it, the sacred timeline.
So, do you think it was crazy that Red Skull went out so easily?
Yes. That was crazy. So I think Sonny was saying yes to my rundown earlier. Yeah, when the monster came through the portal after he had released or, you know, created the portal for the monster to come through. I don't think we ever got a name for the monster.
No, I just thought it was Cthulhu or the Kraken. Those are what I thought it was.
He actually resembles the what is it called, the Shumagorath, which is a squid-like monster that is known throughout the interdimensional Marvel comics and that kind of thing. So I'm trying to bring up a picture up now, but the Shumagorath looks like a crazy looking tentacle monster with a big giant eye. We didn't get to see an eye on this thing, but we can only imagine it may have looked like that.
Suicide Squad Starfish.
Oh yes, I haven't seen that one yet. I have not seen that yet.
Oh, it's so good.
Yeah,
I enjoyed it.
Yeah. So yeah, I did want to talk about doing a review of that, but I still haven't seen it. So I was like, as soon as I see it, then I'll definitely we'll definitely bring it up. But yeah, so this is the Shumagorath. If I can get it to zoom in, this is one of the pictures of it.
Kind of look like a fish.
Yeah, there we go. So the tentacles, and it's so strong that it's able to take on multiple heroes and that kind of thing.
I just don't understand that. I don't understand why he wanted to get him out. Don't make sense.
I guess apparently this is supposed to be some kind of grand champion of the Hydra, you know, and I'm not sure what book he read about it in, but he apparently read it in some book and knew that he needed to get it out. So
well, he should have asked the book first if he friendly to anybody.
Yeah, exactly. Like, if he really knows who Hydra
his master is.
He came right in and crushed the red scar.
I loved her reaction to him getting crushed. I was like, oh my god, like this is our bad guy, and he just got crushed real fast. We need a plan now. Like,
not playing.
Oh man, I thought that was hilarious. Okay, so we thought Steve was dead, but he wasn't. He was alive because he was in the castle.
Right.
That the Hydra, that Red
so
Skull
that was after
had.
the train incident. So Peggy saved Bucky, but we saw after the bomb went off inside of the train that Steve was able to save everybody else by setting the bomb off, but it blew up his suit and caused the avalanche, and he was trampled in the avalanche, and he was caught this time, not turned into a Winter Soldier, but he was taken out of the Hydra Stomper, and the Hydra Stomper was posted up inside of the.
Yeah, because I guess that happened. That kind of changed the course of, because what happened in the original? They set off the bomb and they stole the serum, and then they did some stuff, right?
Right. Yeah. So when the bomb went off, and well, I don't know if it was a bomb, but it was like something went off, and then they were on the train. They had blew out the side of the train, and then Bucky fell out, but Steve couldn't catch him. He fell down the mountain. I don't know how he survived that, but he fell down the mountain. We understand how animated Steve
right, because that's when Bucky lost his arm.
Yeah, but Bucky lost his arm, and then he was brainwashed and turned into into the Winter Soldier. So that's what happened in the movie. But in the TV series, he's saved by Captain Carter, but then Steve is lost in the avalanche and then ends up getting captured and but not turned. So he was just waiting on them to come rescue him, basically.
Yeah, but I think that Red Skull's mission had already changed in this
cartoon
somehow to the point where he didn't even care.
Because he did not get the Tesseract the way he wanted at that time, and they had to go by it and get it a different way. It changed everything. So then once he had his hands on the Tesseract, his main mission was then to bring out the champion. Now the thing is that because of how the timeline was changed and the fact of how everybody was kind of involved, they didn't make it to Red Skull in time, where before Red Skull got pulled into the portal in the previous timeline, but in this one he got the portal to work, and the monster came out of the portal instead and was able to attack
and kill him.
Go and kill him
first.
Yeah, exactly. So he had better luck last time. Well, I don't know if it's better luck because he ended up getting teleported to Vormir and
having to be there eternally.
Exactly. Yeah. So not sure.
I'd rather be dead. I'd rather be dead.
Right.
I'd rather be dead.
Well, he now knows everybody and everything in Vormir, so I don't know. It's kind of weird.
Yeah, that blew everybody's mind when that was him. Everybody was going crazy when they saw that. But anyway, that's not
right.
So Steve is not dead. They go to the castle. They, in the meantime, in between time, they speak to, her being emotional about Steve, them saying that she should have never been fighting in the first place. Mm-hmm. Her getting pissed off at the guy who's running the USSR and basically saying to him, you're lucky to even be in the room, so shut up. And then they decide to go and save Steve and try to take down Red Skull. And in the midst of that, because it's going real fast from this point to the end.
Everything was definitely moving a lot faster. A lot was trying to be done all at once.
I just, other thing I realized about the episode, she was killing a lot of people.
Yeah.
A lot. She literally went in an airplane and killed about 7 people. And we just yeah, man, this is cool. But the second time I watched it, I said, damn, them poor kids just in the war. They didn't have a damn choice.
Right.
And she just throwing them out the
airplane. Damn. They're definitely not holding back with the killing lately.
No, probably because it's a cartoon.
Yeah, right. Yeah, true that. Yeah. I mean, we do accept death in cartoons a lot quicker than we do in real action, live action. But they did that in Falcon and Winter Soldier, right? Where they killed a couple of people early on in the first couple of episodes without batting an eye.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But dang, what was I about to say? So yeah, she was killing all them people. Mm-hmm. I was like, what did you think about the animation style?
So the animation style I like because it's not campy looking, it's not cheesy looking, it's got a mature look to it. I felt like it was like fitting, you know what I mean? Like I felt like it fit the kind of the theme of the show and of the MCU. So, I definitely was feeling like it was like a great choice, doing it this way, because it kind of has a realistic look to it.
Yeah, it reminded me like Archer, but also not so much like Archer. It honestly reminded me of like between Archer and the Clone Wars a little bit.
Yeah.
So it's good enough for kids, but it's also good enough for adults as well.
Right. Yeah. I mean, the effects that they're giving off and the style of it's just more mature and definitely allows us to watch it as adults and not feel like we're just watching some kids show.
Yeah. You remember that Spider-Man cartoon that used to come on MTV a long time ago?
No, I don't.
This is how it used to look. It used to be brighter colors. But yeah, that's how it used to look. It used to come on
that
MTV.
Was the thing. Yeah, good point. That's the one thing I did like about this too, is that it was a little darker. Because I was kind of thinking like, the MCU from a movie standpoint, even some of the TV shows, has been very brightly colored, brightly lit, that kind of thing. But every scene in this episode, if it wasn't dark, it was darkish, right? You know what I mean?
It matched the times.
Right, exactly. Matched the time, it matched the tone, right? So I think that was important too, is that they did kind of keep it a serious tone with the colors and the brightness of the animation. So because I felt like if it would have been, this bright, happy color, it just wouldn't have fit.
No, not at all.
Yeah.
So Peggy, she Steve, I don't know. I don't remember how he powered the Hydra Stomper, but they
originally it was powered by the Tesseract, and then after, because what I think happened is they sucked the power out of the Tesseract, and that's what helped him open the portal.
Right.
The Red Skull opened the portal for the Shumagorth to come through, or whatever that thing was, obelisk, to come through. And then the what they call it, I forgot what are those guys, the Screaming Rangers or something, when they came in with Peggy to save him. I think they ended up using some power out of the building or something like that, repowered it, recharged it up, which was funny because he jumped in the suit, was ready for the power surge to come through. The power surge came through, and he literally fell on his face because the thing was powered up properly. But
I feel like that line he said, "Just put me in a suit." I feel like I heard that before, like in an Iron Man movie. I don't know.
That was definitely an Iron Man quote, either from either Iron Man 2 or definitely from an Avengers movie. I feel like it was like Iron Man or Avengers 3. He just said, "Just get me a suit" or something like that, and basically, that's all he needed, So he's ready to go. So yeah, definitely they touched on a lot of that, but we're hearing it from a different character's mouth now.
Yeah,
that kind of thing. So that was dope. I still can't get over watching Steve Rogers in the Iron Man suit. That's just funny to me. So
yeah, because they can't stand each other really and truthfully.
Exactly. I was exactly what I was thinking. It was like, that's different.
But it's so funny because he really liked his dad. That's he really liked his dad. Like him and his dad was really good friends.
Right.
Oh, but that do make it messed up that he knew his daddy got killed by Bucky. Dang, I just thought about that. Oh, that's a story that you could just go back and forth with in your mind all day long.
Exactly. Yeah. So we got to see at the end of the show when she gets, medieval with the obelisk. She grabs the sword. She's cutting up tentacles. She saved Steve. I think she saved somebody else that got pulled into it, and then she's like cutting on it. She's trying to grab hold of the floor with the sword. I don't know where the sword came from, but
it was just on the wall because it was a castle.
So, right. So
swords just being canceled, and they be sharp.
Already. Yeah, it was already pre-sharpened. It was ready to go. So she was able to fight off the obelisk and then pushed it back into the portal, but it pulled her in with it. And then all of a sudden, on the other side, we see in the post-close show, or post-close scene rather, is
Nick Fury
and Hawkeye waiting on her through the portal. Now,
with the voices from the actors, which was
yes. I thought that was dope. That was definitely Jeremy Renner. It was definitely Samuel Jackson.
Definitely Sam Jackson.
So what did you think about her coming through the portal 70 years later, just like Steve being emerged from the ice? What did you think about that in terms of?
I was just like, damn, man. And this is my question. This is my question because, like when we watched Loki, we realized that no matter what Loki it was, they were not supposed to have a happy life, right? It didn't matter what they did. It didn't matter how they did it. It didn't matter what they were supposed to do. So my question to you is, do you think that in any universe other than the one that Steve created for himself at the end of Endgame, that him and Peggy would have ever been together?
So yeah, no, I don't think so. I mean, this proves to us that they are not destined. They were not destined of a happy life together. You know, at least without them going through some type of loss or tragedy or whatever, you know, the case you want to call it. Because I mean, because think about the fact that if Peggy hadn't have saved Steve in this reality, he would have died, right?
Right.
If um um if he would have never come out of the ice, she would have never saw him again. If he would have never went back to 1940, they'd have never had, you know what I mean? So there's a lot of things, you know, that were stopping them from having the life that they wanted to have, right? Did the He Who Remains make it happen for Steve to go back into 1940 and have that life? I think so. He could have chose not to allow Steve to do that, right? He could have had Steve pruned, you know, for even attempting to do such a thing. So I think that was kind of He Who Remains' gift to Steve. When it comes down to it, you know, if we're going to start injecting all these new characters and new scenarios into.
But wait,
I'm sorry.
I just thought about something.
What's that?
Loki technically got taken before
Through that portal.
Before Endgame.
Yes.
So theoretically, was it allowed, or was it is it because Sylvie why he was able to do what he did?
Oh.
That's what I just thought about.
Oh, because if Sylvie is now She Who Remains,
and if she split the timelines, if she messed up the timeline, was it just him doing what he did because they messed up the timeline?
Right, exactly. Well, no, I take that back. No, because I believe I have to go back now and watch it again. I believe He Who Remains talked about it. I believe he did. Either he talked about it or he mentioned it, that it was these things were allowed to happen. I have to go back and look. I
remember him saying that, but I don't know what it was in reference to.
I just remember. So you remember at the beginning of the Loki series, Loki mentions, I know that the Avengers have already messed with time. I could smell that X body spray anywhere, and it was because he was talking about Tony Stark. So he knew that there was time travel already in the mix.
Right, but I don't know. And he was referring to that specifically. He didn't know anything about.
But they told him that was supposed to happen. Because Mobius told Loki that time travel caper was supposed to happen.
But they talking about the time travel caper.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying is that if they knew about the time travel caper, then they would. I think that they would have had to known about Steve Rogers as well, going back in time to put everything back, because that's the reason they allowed it as well. Because he was going to go put everything
happened within like a week of it. The same time that was happening, that was happening.
He did it in 5 minutes, right?
Yeah, because I mean, theoretically, like we see Loki with them for like a week.
Right, exactly.
But like the same time, they were literally doing that plan in the midst of that, right? So
yeah. Actually, yeah, you're right. You're 100% right. So while he was learning to be in a TVA, finding Sylvie, going through the whole Sylvie adventure, and then confronting He Who Remains, by the time they got done, the Avengers were just finishing up the time travel paper.
Yeah, so who knows?
Interesting theory. Yeah, interesting theory. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, because it was just a week. It was literally
it was like a week, man. So I mean, it's possible that that happened just because the timeline was being jacked up anyway.
Allowed to be jacked up at that point. Yeah, exactly. I gotta write that down.
Yeah, because I don't know. I just can't see the TVA letting him do that, because if this is the case, they were never destined to be together. So what he did would have created a ripple effect that would have messed up the timeline tremendously.
Yeah, true that. Yeah, definitely. His messing with the timeline definitely threw things off, or would have thrown things off. had they really just allowed that to be a thing, right? Yeah.
Because we wouldn't have won the war. Because technically the reason why we won the war or whatever is because of Captain America, right? He was the one that saved us. He was the one that did what he needed to do. So he was the reason why we were able to win the war. She was the reason why we were able to win the war in this scenario. So if they would have been kissing and hugging, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Who would have helped the war stop?
Right. Yeah, true that. So yeah, that's true.
But see, that's why I asked you that, because it's just like, if they were never if the TVA is supposed to manage time to the point where this is what's supposed to happen over and over and over again, and this is your destiny regardless to what you do, what you say, then why would they? Okay, they can't have an Earth with no people on it. So yeah, we're gonna allow the Avengers to do what they gonna do, but why would we allow Steve Rogers to go back and make his life better?
Right.
Unless something happened where they couldn't go prune him because they had other stuff going on.
Right, exactly. All right, yeah, we'll have to see how this plays out if they give us the answer. We may not get this answer in this show, but we'll see if we can figure out more based on that. Because yeah, that time travel caper and this Loki show definitely had to have gone through around the same time. Mm-hmm. So yeah, it will make sense. So yeah. But yeah, the other thing I was thinking about was that in the 70-year stretch, not only proving that they definitely were destined to have a life together, but also it makes me question what happened that she was allowed to move through time when I believe that the Tesseract was at play here, and it's not a time travel power. Or not a time travel stone, you know what I mean? Like there was no time travel. It allows people to move through space and location, but not really time. So it's like, what happened there? What caused that? Or were they just being very, very what's the word when taking creative license?
Right. Well, they had to be in Germany, right? Because she had to come back where she left.
Exactly.
So I don't know. Did we take over that place and make it a shield agency or whatever? Or were they down there doing research? I don't know.
Yeah, I guess that's the question too. Is did she open the portal? Did the Shumagorov Obelisk open the portal? Did Hawkeye and me and names today.
Nick Fury.
And Fury. Did Fury and Hawkeye open that portal? Yeah, that's a good question. That's a good question because we don't really know how that happened. I definitely don't think we're going to get an answer to that because I think they just took creative license all the way around with that because I think they were just trying to create the same kind of storyline without the same storyline, like, oh, it's 70 years later, right? Same exact amount of time that Steve was gone. Even that was vague in how he came back, right? So it's I think it was like a global warming or something like that.
Yeah, I think it was.
So
I think it was though.
Yeah, so I think it's like we definitely just have to have our assumptions and our theories and go from there. But yeah, so I think all in all, it was a fast-paced, very, very fast-paced story. We got episode 2 dropped today. People are already talking about it, and it's going to further explore this new timeline and these intersecting stories as it lays from this new branch reality that Peggy Carter created by making that decision, that change in her decision. From a standpoint of what's next, what other kind of thoughts or ideas do you have about what's coming in this series? Like, are you anticipating anything? Are you looking forward to anything from the previews?
I want to see this episode because it's Chadwick Boseman is in it, and I want to see the zombie episode because I like horror.
And you know, it's funny. I'm not even like a big zombie or horror person, but I really want to see that episode too. I just want to know how they even got to that point. Like, what's going to
because I've
cause
been
this?
seeing it for a long time, like in comic books and they Funko Pops,
Yes.
and I don't really understand like it. And I never have, even when I was a kid. Like Reggie and Bunchy used to have them comic books, and I never got it then, and I was too scared to read it because I was a kid. You know what I'm saying? But maybe this will expound on it, because I mean, obviously they're not gonna have Wolverine in there, but
yeah,
I mean they could though. Technically,
well, they did say already that they're not going to introduce new characters that aren't already in the MCU, new heroes.
Oh, okay.
We're gonna see familiar faces on both the villain and the hero side, but from a hero standpoint, they promise not to introduce new heroes that we either haven't already been introduced to or at least seen in cameos. So that's how we're going to get Howard the Duck, because we did see him in
Guardians of the Galaxy.
Or Guardians of the Galaxy, rather. I'm sorry, yeah. In Guardians of the Galaxy, we did see him in there. That's how we're going to get him. But past that, it's going to be just characters we're already familiar with. So when it comes to the heroes, but yeah, you know, I'm definitely looking forward to the zombie episode. Like you said, I'm definitely looking forward to the Black Panther becomes Star-Lord episode.
And the Iron Man episode with
Killmonger. With Killmonger. Yeah. So that should be interesting as well to see how that plays out. I'm interested to see how the interactions happen with that as well, in terms of, because I heard that Chadwick did 2 or 3 episodes of if not more, it might have been 4, but yeah, I know he did, you know, at least 2 or 3 episodes of What If he did voiceover for. So it'll be interesting to see the interactions that happen between those characters from what we know in our sacred timeline versus what's happening in this branch reality and what goes on from there. So yeah, I'm excited for that. So yeah. I mean, Marvel's What If. It was a short show. It was a lot that happened all at once. Gave us a lot to look forward to, and then the new episode dropped this morning, and we're gonna go from there. Next week we'll be doing a recap of that, so make sure you guys check that out. Movie news. I was in Vegas last week. I'm getting ready to go on a trip tomorrow, so I have been just totally closed off from the world. What do you got for us for movie?
Yeah, I literally just got off a plane today.
Oh yeah, you were in New Orleans, right?
Yes.
See, you were in New Orleans. I was here, but you know, when did you go? When did you go to New Orleans?
Last Friday.
Oh, okay. So yeah, I left Wednesday for Vegas, and then so I literally watched the What If while I was getting ready to jump on a plane. And then I got back here Saturday morning, because I left Vegas late Friday night. So I got back here Saturday morning, and I had to work that morning. Well, I thought I had to work. Turned out I didn't have to work, but I was up working and didn't realize I didn't have to work. And then I ended up just having the longest week already at work because of a ton of stuff we're doing. So it's just been busy, on top of, like I said, getting ready to head out on another trip tomorrow. So yeah, I haven't had a chance to catch up on a lot of movie news. I think I just caught a couple things with some announcements. Like there was a first look at Spider-Man.
Oh wow!
No Way Home.
I missed that.
Yeah, so there's a first look for that. There's also been a lot of reviews and recaps of the movie you were just talking about.
The Suicide Squad.
That dropped 2 weeks ago. It was, I believe. It dropped 2 weeks ago.
Yes, it did.
Everybody's been talking about it. Lot of mixed reviews for that movie.
I mean, it's better than the first one, and it's James Gunn, man.
It was better than the first. Okay.
Oh my God, yes. The first one is a wash. They washed each other. Like, oh my God. Yeah. Oh my God. It's so. I don't care what nobody got to say. That movie is a movie. That other thing was I don't even know what it was, but it was not a movie.
I kind of enjoyed Suicide Squad 1 just because it was so different from all the other DC stuff that they had been dropping. and it was definitely not as serious, of course. You know what I mean?
Not at all.
Because they tried to be too serious in the other movies, which I thought made it a joke. You know, I didn't like those other DC movies. So watching the Suicide Squad was just a, you know, it was like, okay, they're not taking it so serious. It's a lot more just action, and you know, they really just got right to the action and just did the thing, right?
But thank goodness for Maggie Robbie. She's amazing. Idris Elba, who was actually playing a whole different character than I thought he was playing Deathstroke, but he was playing Bloodsport.
Blood who?
I don't know. I might have the name wrong. But he not playing the character that Will Smith played. He playing another character.
I thought he was playing Will Smith's character.
No, he playing another character. I'm about to look it up. Because Devin told me and it blew my damn mind because I just knew he was playing Will Smith character, but he wasn't. He was playing a whole other character.
Yeah, you're right. It's Bloodsport.
Yeah.
Who is Bloodsport?
I've never heard another guy. You know, it's two guys with the masks that shoot people in the DC.
There's three. There's Deathstroke. There's
Deathshot, one shot.
Deadshot, right. Deadshot, Deadshot, Deathstroke.
And Bloodsport.
I've never heard of Bloodsport.
I thought Bloodsport was a movie with Jean-Claude Van Damme in it. I didn't know it was a character from DC.
Wow, I have not.
I said one shot, Deadshot, because the dude who was on Spartacus played Deadshot on Arrow.
Yes, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Deadshot has shown up a couple of times. He's also in oh man, what was the name of that movie?
But he the one that got the two-tone face mask.
Yeah, he's got the two-tone mask.
Yeah, he do like the orange or the yellow and the black.
Right. Yeah, that I for some reason I thought he was playing Deathstroke. That's crazy.
Yeah, me too. Until Devin pointed out to me, blew my mind. And right. I mean, it's a lot of cool because basically James Gunn just said everybody that was in Guardians of the Galaxy come be in. But I see why Disney was like, no, we got to get him back because he made that movie good. Like he made it good. He made it good. Now, no, I'm not saying it's the best movie that ever was created, but it's up there with the better DC comics movies, and it was good. Like you got Idris Elba, Maggie Robbie. A lot of them actors are very good and very well known, and the ones that weren't did a good job. Like I really liked the girl who played the rat catcher. I really liked her character. Oh my God, and John Cena's ass. Oh my God, he did such a good job.
Oh really? Okay.
Oof. Yeah, no, but then you got Viola Davis acting up against Idris Elba, like good acting, solid acting, and then you got the little girl who was in Euphoria with Zendaya. Who played her younger sister, going back and forth, just good acting. Idris Elba, and just that good acting, you know what I'm saying? And you got these, it was good. I enjoyed it. Maggie Robbie is just really, really amazing at playing Harley Quinn. Like she is really,
I love
she's
her,
a great actress.
I didn't like the Harley Quinn movie. I watched the Harley Quinn movie, loved it. Like,
that movie is good. Yeah, I enjoyed that movie, and it had like all of these great female actresses that you know either needed to be in a movie.
And
Marie, my girl from Scott Pilgrim. And Rosie Perez is in there.
Yes, and Rosie Perez.
Like what?
Yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah, it was great. The movie is great, but I enjoyed it. I don't think anybody who, if you like the first one, you should like the second one.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I was hearing. Yeah, I heard it was like I didn't hear a good comparison of the two, but I just heard that it
because it's a wash, man. It's literally a wash. Like this one washes that one out. Like
right.
It just literally like
weird. Yeah, I've heard a couple people tell me like, oh, it was okay or it wasn't that great, and I'm like, really? Okay. Like I expected more because of the fact that Idris was in it, and like you said, Margot being in there, I figured that she was still going to do a great job, and I mean, I wasn't sure what to expect from Cena just because he can be hit or miss on his acting as well as his characters. he takes just about any character. He doesn't say no to characters, which I think it hurts his career, his acting career, because he's just like about to say Incredible Hulk. What's his name? Hulk Hogan. He just takes anything they throw at him. You know.
But I think this character reminds me of. See, this is what a lot of people don't remember. When John Cena first came out, he came out in an exhibition match at like WrestleMania, something like that, because I was watching it. He was just this guy, this white guy in trunks, right? He just had trunks. He was just this white guy, and he was just like plain Jane, blah, blah, blah. But he was a good wrestler. So he won his match and everything, but he wasn't memorable. And he came back out a couple of times after that, and he was very like, noble, kind of like almost a Kurt Angle type vibe, but not Kurt Angle. And then all of a sudden he switched it up, and it's like, you can't see me and all this kind of stuff. I'm like, what the hell is this?
You're right. Is that when he became like that hip hop version of Cena?
Yeah, because he was a good wrestler, but he didn't have an angle. Like he didn't have an angle. He was just this clean cut. And I think the way he's playing this character is he's kind of taking on that role for when he first started wrestling, because he's playing a character called the Peacemaker, and he's very like Deathstroke, but very precise, or so he feels as if he is. And he's very like one-noted in a sense of like what he does and how he's precise and how he's this and this and this and this. You know what I'm saying? So when I watched the movie, I felt like he was taking on that first character when he first started wrestling. And I was like, I think he did a great job, because I want to punch him in the face.
Oh, really? Okay.
Oh, but that's movie news that dropped. He's getting a TV show. The Peacemaker is getting a TV show.
That's what I heard, is that they're going to spin off a show for him. I thought it was going to be another movie, but yeah, I heard he was I guess he did a good enough job that they liked him to
I mean, I liked him. I hated him, but I liked him. I think he did a really good job.
That should be interesting. Hopefully it'll be on HBO Max.
It probably definitely will be on HBO Max. That's the best thing they did for DC.
That's another thing. Titans are back. Season 3.
Oh yeah, that's true.
It's back on HBO Max. I think it either just dropped this week or will be dropping by the end of the week. So definitely, if you're a Titans fan, that's the live action version of the Teen Titans. That's in season 3. It's dropping, and they're returning to Gotham. So that should be dope. Batman's gone, and the Titans are here. So.
Well, the trailer for the teaser trailer for Doom Patrol dropped last week.
Yes, Doom Patrol is coming back. That's true. Yeah, Doom Patrol is coming back, which is dope, because I think they've been gone for a couple of years, if I'm not mistaken.
No, they was out last year. This is their third season. Yep.
Right, that's what I mean. No, because their second season was in 2019 or something like that.
They had I'm gonna say this. I started watching it just this year when it was on HBO Max, but I know they dropped a new season recently because I watched it week by week.
Okay.
So maybe it was last year, but it could have been in 2019. But I just started watching it, so it had to be in 2020 because I just started watching it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, I could be wrong, because when it came out, I wasn't really watching it. I just saw, I didn't even know who Doom Patrol was, and then when I got to see them in the Titans TV show, then that's when I really got introduced to them. So yeah, I could be wrong. That could be my bad. Yeah. Okay, so yeah, it's my bad. Yep, you're right. You're 100%. It was 2019 when the series dropped, February 15, 2019. You know what I think it is? It's the timing, because the original series, which was 15 episodes, was from February to May of 2019. That was released in DC Universe.
On their station, on their streaming service, where HBO Max came out.
Yep, and then in June of 2020 until August, so literally just 2 months, and they only had 9 episodes.
Right.
So by the time we got HBO Max, they had just finished the first or the second season And so I think that's what made me think that the second season came out in 2019. That's why I thought that. So yeah, so it's only been roughly a year since the ending of the second season. So yeah, but it releases September 23rd. September 23rd is when it's releasing. So
yes,
less than a month away. Definitely I'll be checking that out. I got to get caught up because I didn't finish watching season 2. I started season 1. I didn't get started with season 2. I gotta finish season 1, then get to season 2, and go from there. But yeah,
I like it. It's just, it's a spider on there, and
that spider, yeah,
and it just be popping out, so it be scaring the shit out of me. No, I'm scared of spiders. I'll never get used to it, and it's big as hell.
Right? Yeah. I would think
every time I see that thing, I'll be like, "Oh!"
Knowing that it's super, super big and unrealistic.
God. It don't matter. It's still a spider. I went on a swamp tour while I was in New Orleans, and I was sitting on the side thinking, oh, I'll be straight over here. So as soon as we get on there, we see an alligator or whatever. And then the man like, oh, let me move the boat over here. And that was the side I was on, so I could show y'all this. And he was like, up there in the tree, it's a spider. And I just got up and I ran away because the spider was big as hell. That's what everybody tell me because I didn't see it. But no, I left. Like my little brother turned around, was like, oh, Chevy, that spider is so pretty. He was like, damn, where did she go? He was
so pretty.
But he said it was silver and gold. It was really? Some type of swamp spider that was pretty, but not for me. I was on the other side of the boat. I didn't care.
Funny. That's too funny.
But I don't mess with the spiders. I can't do it.
Well, we're going to go ahead and wrap the show up then because we have gone through the movie news. We've gone through the whole episode quicker than our usual because it was a short show. It wasn't a ton. Let's be honest, wasn't a ton going on. Besides them trying to run through creating this whole new timeline. We'll see how episode 2 goes. See if they do a little bit more development, or if we at least see the development of the storyline itself, because we're building up towards the Guardians of the Multiverse, right? So we're going to have a whole new team to root for, whole new series of characters, as well as there's rumors that we will see these characters in live action as well. These very, very variant characters. I got to get to the Loki lingo. Right. These variant characters in live action as well. So that should be interesting to see how they kind of basically do that, how they interact with that. So we'll see how that goes. Tell them where they're going to find you tomorrow.
Tomorrow, you can find me at Chevy the Superstar on Twitch. I will be going live with Latoya as we discuss our final sequel of the month, and it will be Terminator 2.
Oh, Terminator 2. Okay.
Yes.
That's what the melted Terminator guy.
Yes, with the man from X-Files.
Yeah.
Yes. And yes, you can also follow me on Instagram, Twitter as the Superstar, and TikTok Chevy the Superstar. I think that's it.
Great. We'll definitely be checking you out then. Hopefully I'll be able to check you out. I'll probably be on the road, but we'll see.
Oh, where are you going?
I am going to Pennsylvania. So I got some stuff to do out there, and then I'll be back next week.
All right.
Yeah. Okay. So actually, I won't be doing my show tomorrow. More than likely, I might not. I'm not sure. I'm trying to decide if I'm gonna be able to have enough time to really do it, or if I'm be woke enough to do it.
Right.
Going on. So we'll see. But it's your boy Willie Stylez in the building. Get at me everywhere at Willie Stylez on IG, Twitter, and TikTok. I'm at Willie.Stylez on Snapchat. I am posting over there a little bit more, not a lot, a little bit more. I mean, I don't post anywhere else really a lot besides promos and things like that, jokes, stuff like that. But we'll see. I made some promises to some people that I'll post a little bit more over there. Don't forget to check out Gaming with Stylez. I am now a level up creator over on Facebook at facebook.gg/AskWillieStyles. Make sure you check out the Gaming with Styles channel. I will be playing GTA 5 RP, that's role playing, as well as all types of other games on that channel. So get over there, hit me with some stars to support the channel as well. Appreciate that. Check me out at stylesradio.com or williestyles.info for all my links. That is the show. Appreciate everybody for dropping in and checking us out. We will be back next week for episode 2.
Yes.
Of What If. Have a good night, everybody.
Hey guys, it's your girl Sunny D, 1/3 of the podcast GFT Radio Show.
What up, though? It's your boy Willie Styles from the GFT Radio Show. Just letting you know you can catch us every Monday night, 10 p.m. Eastern.
And to get some merch, I got some on right now. Go to teesprings.com/stores/GFT Radio.
Grown Folk Talk Radio. Join the conversation. Let's have some fun. Holla.